What's going on, everybody? I'm Terrence, and this is Bank Shipping. All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. If you ain't up, go ahead, get up, start that grind. Today is Tuesday. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July weekend, safe weekend, spend time with your family. I know I did. Ate some good cookout food and spent a bunch of time with family. Some family I haven't seen in a while. New family members, cousins just had babies and things like that. So all in all, it was a good weekend. Then, yesterday kind of just relaxed and got my mind right for this week. And here we are. We are down in Springfield, Virginia, delivering a load of insulation. So I got to the customer kind of early, to the drop-off kind of early, so they still have their own trucks in there that they're loading and trying to get out of here. So just kind of waiting until they get those trucks out, and then I can pull down in there, unstrapping everything, get unloaded, and then we got to head back to the customer to get another load for tomorrow. This customer here, or this drop off here, they don't start receiving until pretty late. It's almost 10 o'clock. They don't start receiving until 10 o'clock. So that kind of screwed up my day as far as getting, one of those containers. I was hoping to, run one of those containers in between. But just with traffic and everything, the way 95 is, I wouldn't have enough time getting up to Baltimore and to get back down to Fredericksburg before 2 o'clock. So we're just going to not worry about that today and get back to the customer and get reloaded for tomorrow, and grab, a container, Lord willing, we can grab one tomorrow in between loads. So, well, there we go. It's time to pull in. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, guys, so I had to cut the last part short because the guy came up and told me that I could pull in to unload. So got in there, and boy, was it tight. Stuff all over the place. You had to weave in between buildings, get through a real narrow gate. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to make it in there, but we got it in there, got unloaded. Forklift driver hit the lollipop light that was that's on the corner of my bumper on the passenger side. Just kind of nudged it, but it, that thing's only plastic, so it was enough to break the plastic on it on the outside. So now it kind of just spins, well, not necessarily spins, but it's able to vibrate, and instead of being flat, the yellow side forward and the red side backward, facing rear, it'll kind of tilt a little bit, and the yellow side will be facing up a little bit. So stopped at the truck shop in my area on my way back to my customer, and they didn't have any, so I guess I'm gonna have to order one of those, and it's just gonna have to drive me nuts until that comes in. So but yeah, so I'm not picking up at the normal location for my customer. They have like another lay down yard. Instead of at the plant, they got a lay down yard about, 30 miles or so, 35 miles up the road. It might not even be 30 miles. But basically, you got to go from Winchester up to Martinsburg, West Virginia, just across the Virginia-West Virginia border. And that's where their lay down yard is. So I had to come up here. It's basically, they kind of just store product all over the place up here. They're trying to figure out like what loads are going to be constantly coming out of here. So some of the product they'll ship up here, and then there'll be a miscommunication of where the product is. So instead of picking up in Winchester, they actually told me Friday, after they told me about this load, they called me back Friday afternoon and let me know that I wouldn't be going to Winchester, I'd be going up to Falling Waters. So, but that's good, because at least they let me know. There's some guys that get down to Winchester and then they tell them, no, you got to go to Falling Waters because the product's not here. I've actually had that happen to me once, but I've only been up here this is my third time coming up to the laydown yard to pick up. So there's not as many trucks that load up here, so things kind of go a little bit quicker. I've been here for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. There was 2 trucks in front of me when I got here. One's about to pull out, so hopefully we'll be getting back down there so that we can get loaded and we can go home for the night and hit it back in the morning. So once I get loaded, I'll get back with you guys. All right, guys, so we have made it back to the yard. Didn't take too long for us to get loaded, but we actually have a full 53-foot load today, or that goes tomorrow. So as you can see, the whole trailer is full. Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So that leads me to talk about this trailer, which is my 53-foot step deck, versus that trailer over there, which was my 40-foot gooseneck. A lot of people ask what was the revenue difference in the 2 trailers. So now that I have ran this setup for a couple months, I kind of have a grasp on what the difference is. Now, I've had a couple people ask me, and of course, you know, I tell them my answer. And I actually had somebody ask me on one of my other videos the other day, and then when I gave the answer, they said that I didn't answer the question. But I did answer the question. I just didn't answer it the way that they wanted me to answer. So if you guys watch the channel, you've seen enough videos where I say I don't talk about my specific numbers. Now, the reason I don't talk about my specific numbers, again, is because what I do and how I run my business is going to be different than anybody else. So instead of talking about numbers, I talk about other factors. So I'm not one of those guys who talk about numbers. If you want to talk about numbers, then you go watch somebody else's channel who talks about how much they make on each load or each week or each month. I'm not going to do that, because I feel that a lot of times that gets people in the business for the wrong reasons. Like I've said before, they think it's a get rich quick scheme because they see all the guys on YouTube saying, oh, this load pays $5,000, this load pays $3,000, I made $7,000 this week, I made $10,000 the next week, blase, blase, blase. That's all you hear is how much money they made. But it's gross, not net. So I don't speak specific terms. So my answer to the question of what is the difference in revenue between my 53-foot step deck and my 40-foot Hotshot is there is a significant difference between the two in the gross revenue per month. Now, the reason that I see a significant difference is because I have a customer who I talked to before I got this trailer and asked, hey, if I get this trailer, can you utilize me more? It was like a mutual thing. And they said, yes, we'd love for you to get a longer trailer so we can give you longer, loads to take up more deck space. So I went out and got it. So I have a direct customer that keeps this trailer loaded. Now, if you don't have a direct customer, then this is the same answer that I gave to the other guy that he didn't seem to like, because he asked if it was worth getting a 53-foot step deck going from a 40-foot. So if you're thinking about doing that, here's a couple things that I suggest you do. And this is what I also told him. First, look at the freight that you run. Are you running load board freight? Do you have direct customers? Is it a little bit of both? What is it? Okay. If you're running load board freight, look at the lanes that you run. Now, when you look at the lanes that you run, look at the freight that you're missing out on, the freight that you can't take, the loads that you say, man, I really wish I could have had that load. Okay. Now, when you look at those loads, see if you can't see the reason why, or look at the reason of why you could not get that load. Okay. Not talking about, oh, somebody beat me to it. The ones that you simply cannot take is the ones I'm talking about, and see why you can't take them. Now, if the load is heavier, than what your trailer has the ability to carry, then the 53-foot step deck or a longer trailer might not help you if you don't change the power unit. Because the power unit, which is your truck, may not still be able to pull that weight, no matter what type of trailer you have, okay? But if you're on the load board and you're running load board freight, or you have customers and it has nothing to do with weight, they just need more deck space, maybe it's just a little more weight, you know, within the capabilities of your power unit, then yes, you could benefit from having more deck space. So in short, well, not in short, in long, that's the answer. You have to see what is working and what is going to work the best for you, okay? Are you going to be able to fill up that trailer? Are you going to be able to get loads that need more deck space, okay? Because if you're not going to be able to get loads that need more deck space, then what's the point of having more deck space? So if you're doing just fine with a 40-foot, and you're not going to see any cost benefit or anything like that from a 53-foot, then why go get a 53-foot? Just to say you have a 53-foot? That would be pointless. You're in this business to make money. So if it's not going to make you money, what is the point of having it? Like I said, before I bought this trailer, I talked to my customer. Now, if my customer said, no, we don't have a need for a 53-foot, then you wouldn't see a 53-foot sitting right here, because it wouldn't be best for what my business. It wouldn't be best for my business. So when I tell you guys things and I answer your guys' questions, I'm not going to talk about money. I'm going to give you the avenues and the knowledge to go and do your own research. And sometimes I think that's the problem with a lot of the people who are getting into this industry. I'm not going to say all the people, but some of the people who are getting into this industry have the problem of not doing their own research. Now, I don't mind helping people. You guys know I preach about helping people all the time, and that's what this channel is for. But I'm not going to do all the work for you. I can't do all the work for you because I don't know how your business is set up. I don't know where you're at, anything like that. If you guys were to be, if you look at consulting companies, you know, big companies use them, whether it don't matter what the company is in, what type of market they're in, whether it's transportation or manufacturing or whatever. If they hire a consulting company, they are hiring that consulting company to give advice. And then they take that advice along with their own research and they come up with the best possible solution. That's simply what I'm doing. I'm giving you the knowledge and the advice from what I've learned so that you can take that and come up with the best possible solution. If I go out and say, hey, yeah, you know, I doubled or tripled my revenue with this 53-foot step deck compared to my 40-foot. And then somebody watches that and they say, oh man, doubled or tripled. And they go out and buy a 53-foot step deck. And then they're barely making more money after they get that step deck. They're barely making any more money than what they were. Then they just went out and bought that because of what I said. So I don't want anybody doing that. I've said it time and time again. I don't want anybody going out and doing something thinking that they're going to make the same money that I, him, or the next person is going to make. Everybody's different. A 53-foot step deck may not work in everybody's business. Everybody's fleet may not benefit from a 53-foot step deck, but my fleet did benefit from it. And so I'm giving you the avenue or the knowledge of how a 53-foot step deck can benefit, you know, how you can benefit from a 53-foot. So you go back, you take this, you go back and you look and you say, okay, most of the loads that I'm getting or most of the loads that I'm losing are 35,000 pounds. Well, if you're in a pickup truck, whether you got a 53-foot step deck or a 40-foot step deck, you're not going to be able to put that 35,000 pound load on your trailer. But if you say, man, most of the loads that I'm losing is, you know, 15,000 pounds or less, but they require 45 or 48 feet of deck space, then yes, you'll benefit from having a 53-foot step deck. So that's what I'm getting at. It doesn't matter what my numbers are running this Stepdeck versus the 40 foot. What matters is how you can benefit from it and if you can benefit from it. So when I talk to you guys, when I guys and girls, I have a habit of just saying guys. I'm sorry to the girls that watch and subscribe, but when you watch me and you ask me questions, that is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to give you a direct answer unless it's something simple that deserves a direct answer. You know, I'll give a direct answer then, but something as far as revenue, I don't know, because I'm not in your shoes. I'm not doing what you're doing. We're not in the same areas, and we might be in the same areas of some people, but for the most part, we're not in the same areas. We're not running the same freight. So I can't tell you 100% if you'll benefit from a 53 foot or not. I benefited from a 53 foot, and I just told you how to research for yourself to see whether or not you'll benefit from a 53 foot or even a 48 foot. You know, basically longer than 40, because there are trailers out there, goosenecks, that are longer than 40. You can get a 45, 48, or 53, you know, or 44, 48, 53. So, you know, there are longer trailers. So you go and you see if you can benefit from the length. If you can benefit from the length, more deck space, by all means, go at it. But if it's a weight issue that you're losing out on loads, it's not going to work. Okay, it's that simple. So yes, in short, going from a 40 foot Hotshot setup to a single axle with a 53 foot Stepdeck has increased my revenue. Okay, that is the short answer. It has increased my revenue. But you have to remember, not only did I go from a 40 foot gooseneck to a 53 foot Stepdeck, I went from a 3500 dually to a single axle semi. So that also makes a difference. Okay, so don't think that just because you got a 53 foot Stepdeck that you're automatically going to make more money if it's weight. That's the issue. So I'm giving you guys the tools to go out, research, and then see if you'll benefit from it. It's that simple. Okay, so now that I got that out the way, it's been bugging me all day. I just haven't had a chance to talk about it. Kind of wanted to get back to the yard and kind of cool off, because it's like 104 degrees here with 100% humidity. So I wanted to come back, let the truck cool down, let myself cool down before I started talking, just because I knew I'd probably be talking for a few minutes about it. Just because it didn't really rub me the wrong way, but I was like, you know, I'm not going to give direct numbers, specific numbers, just because I say it all the time. I'm not going to do it. And who would I be if I went against my word, said that that's something I'm not going to do, and then I turn around and do it to get more views or more subscribers or to make somebody happy, when really I'm already giving them the knowledge and the tools to go out and find the answer for themselves. A lot of people want everything handed to them. You can't have everything handed to them, especially if you want to get in this business. If you want to get in this business, ain't nothing handed to you. You got to work and grind for everything that you got. And not just this business, there's a lot of businesses that are like that. Honestly, life is like that for a lot of people. Ain't nothing handed to you. You gotta, I know at least to me, wasn't nothing ever handed to me. You gotta go out and you gotta be that dog, that lion, and go out and fight for everything that you have, everything that you want, everything that you need. You gotta go out and fight for it. So I'm not going to just give you the easy road. I'm gonna give you the tools, I'm gonna give you the knowledge, and then you can take that and you can do whatever you want with it. But I'm not gonna give you the specific details on my business, because my business is not the same as yours. It's not the same as anybody else's. I'll say that till I'm blue in the face. I'll say it every video. It just is what it is, you know. So if you want specific numbers, maybe I'm not the guy that you want to watch, because I'm not going to do it. You can watch somebody else. So with that being said, hope everybody had a good day so far. I know my day's been long, but it's been great. Every day that I get to wake up and hop up in this girl and fire her up, go down the road looking clean, looking pretty, that makes my day great. So I want to see down in the comments, if you guys are in the trucking industry, let me know why you're in the trucking industry. Let me know, you know, is it a family thing? Was your granddaddy a trucker? Your daddy a trucker? Great granddaddy? You know, is it a family thing? Do you get in it because just money? You know, if that's the reason that you got into it. I want to see why the guys that are in the trucking industry that subscribe to my channel or follow me, I want to know why y'all got into the trucking industry. Me, personally, I didn't get into it because of the money. I say it all the time, if you got into it because of the money, you're in it for the wrong reasons. You ain't gonna be rich being a trucker. I got into it because of family, be my own boss, and like I said, I get to hop up in all this sexy goodness right here and go down the road, have people honk, have people tell me how much they love my truck. That old school feel, being proud to be a trucker, the last of the cowboys. That's why I became a trucker. So let me know why you did. Well, with that being said, everybody stay prayed up, grind hard, and stay humble.